Welcome to Empowering You with Cynthia Fontaine, where your transformation begins. This isn't just a show, it's your invitation to unlock personal power and trust your inner wisdom. Each episode, I'll guide you to release what holds you back and reconnect with the truth already inside you. Because when you align with your intuition, everything changes. You didn't find this by accident. You're ready. Let's begin.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Empowering You with me, Cynthia Fontaine. This is a show for you where I give you lots of tricks and tips and tools and suggestions to help you in your everyday life. Now, if you're new to the show, welcome. I'm so glad that you have found me and the show. And if you've seen the show before, welcome back. I appreciate your support. If you have not seen the show on YouTube, please go to YouTube, the YouTube channel, which you will see across the screen as the show goes, as the show is shown on TV. And then follow the YouTube channel and like it. And there's going to be a special bonus under this week's show where I'm going to give you a special gift. So you definitely want to go to the YouTube station, the YouTube channel, and follow the show, and then there will be a link there for you to be able to download the gift that I am giving to you for this wonderful time of the year. Actually, I like to give gifts all the time, but I created this specially for you to actually go with today's show. Now, you know, there's no secret that there's a lot of chaos happening here in the United States and globally, and I'd love to say I'm going to wave my magic wand and that's all going to just, neutralize and it's all going to go away. But unfortunately, it's not. And in one sense, it's okay because we kind of really need this shakeup. And during this time, what you want to keep in mind is, and you've heard me say this before, if you've watched the other shows, it's really important to do a lot of self-care, grounding, meditation, anything that you can do to relieve your stress in a natural way. Because, there are unnatural things, or, well, I guess you could consider them natural, but there are things that you could do to, let's say, cover up any angst that you're having, which, would be substances and things like that. So rather than going down that route, let's try a more holistic approach and do things that can help you holistically to get to the place of at least groundedness. If you can't have peacefulness right now, at least somewhat groundedness. Now look, we're all going to have freakouts from time to time. That's natural. But what you want to do is make sure those freakouts don't last and last and last. You want to come back to center. And I have to practice this myself all the time. My life, like a lot of my friends' lives and my colleagues' lives, it's like somebody took the deck of cards and threw it up in the air, and we're going to see where things land. My life is like that right now. There's a lot of moving parts, and I have to bring myself back and do these practices myself because I get overwhelmed just like other people get overwhelmed. And especially as an empath, I take on other people's energies naturally, and so I have to do a lot of things to make sure I'm always clearing my energy, either through salt baths or meditation, or actually do a professional clearing, which I'm trained in that. Or I work with other people who will clear me in different ways that I don't do. So I have a support team, which you should have your own support team right now. So that might look like a therapist or a counselor. It may look like an intuitive coach. It may look like a friend group. So create your own support group right now because we need it now, and we're gonna definitely need it next year. It's coming upon us so fast, and I try to make these shows sort of timeless, but I also feel like I need to talk about some current affairs so that you get the most benefit out of it. So coming up next year, which is quickly approaching, it's going to be chaos, to be honest. Astrologically, in both Western astrology and we're coming into the Chinese New Year of the year of the fire horse. And you think about a horse galloping across the field, right? That horse can race. There's no way you can keep up on foot with the horse. And so imagine that's how quick paced next year is going to be. And fire is about, I hate to say it, but destruction, right? Sometimes though, in order for new forest to grow, the old forest has to burn, or the forest floor, to create new forest. And that's the place where we're at. We're at the place where things have to burn down before they can regrow in a better way. So what can you do and what can you focus on through this tumultuous and chaotic time? Really limit your media, right? And be selectful, and make sure when you see something on the media, no matter where you get your source, wherever you get your media intake, make sure that you're double checking the facts. Go right to the source and double check the facts, because we all know that there's a lot of nonsense out there right now, and more now than ever. It didn't used to be so much that way 30 years ago, when Walter Cronkite was on the news. I'm dating myself. Yikes. Many of you might not remember him, but I do. When he was on the news, it was just the news, right? It's not that way anymore. Now it's more like how much can we exaggerate it, or how much can we downplay something that should be really exaggerated, or at least reported in the nature that it is. So limit that, okay? Take salt baths. You've heard me say this before. If you've seen the show, take salt baths. Get out in nature. Now is the time to come to center, ground yourself, and it's about resilience, right? How do you get resilience? Well, you're not resilient if life goes smoothly, because you don't need to be resilient. So resilience is a muscle, just like intuition is a muscle, just like going to the gym and working out builds muscles. So we're here at this time to build our resilience muscles, to build the muscles of what we want to see in our lives, because we create the future in the present moment, not in the past, not in the future. We create it here and now in this present moment. And so get really, really clear about what you want to see in your life, and most importantly, how you want to feel. Because a lot of people say, I do vision board workshops, right? And people put money on there, and they put cars, and they put houses, and they put all these things. But it's just a picture until it has an emotion and a feeling attached to it. Now, when we do vision boards, if you put the pictures on and the emotion is, oh, I really want that car, and it comes from a place of, but I don't have it, guess what? You're not going to get that car. Okay, so I did a vision board a few years ago, and it was just a whim that I put this one picture on the board, right? I needed a new car, and I put a couple of cars that I really wanted on the board, and then I put a car on there that was like, oh, that's a pipe dream, right? And did the board, left it. And as I look back at that board a couple of years later, because it doesn't happen overnight, sometimes things take time to percolate, right? I look back on the board a couple of years later, and every single thing, except for two of those things, came to fruition. But the one thing that was most surprising was the car that I got, because one of the cars that I put in that board, that was just a whim, a pipe dream, was the car that I ended up getting. And so I was not attached to the car. I knew how I wanted to feel in the car when I was driving it. I knew what kind of cars I like to drive and that are comfortable for me, because I'm not so tall. And so Many of the cars the seats don't adjust not enough, where the headrest isn't pushing my head forward, or the what do you call that thing, the back support. It hits me in the middle of up in the top of my back instead of down low, because I'm height challenged, we'll say, which I don't mind. But anyhow, I digress. So I knew how I wanted to feel in the car, and the car that I got fits me like a glove. It's perfect. It's the ride of it's just beautiful. Anyway, so how you want to feel, that's the important thing for you to focus on now. So when you're watching the news or watching media or getting information that is stressful, don't absorb that energy and take it on your own. And how do you know if you're doing that? Because if you're watching this show, most likely you're sensitive. You might be an empath, you might be intuitive, maybe you do energy work, or you could be a mechanic. What you do in the world doesn't qualify you as a sensitive person. There are sensitive people in every arena out there in the world. So what you do, I'll give you a quick tip, right? You want to check to see if you're feeling agitated and you're like snapping off the handle and you don't know why, and there's nothing really going on that should really indicate why you're doing that. You want to check in and say, oh, this energy is aggressive, or it's this or it's that. And then ask one simple question: is this mine? And your body will let you know right away if it's yours, because if it is, you'll still feel the tension. But if it's not yours, and you say, is this mine, or is this someone else's? Say it in two separate questions. Ask if it's someone else's. And if you ask, is this from someone else? I pick up energy from people all the time. You will know, because your body will suddenly go, oh, you'll have like this knowing and this sort of release that, oh, this doesn't belong to me, okay? So then what you do is you just say, okay, I want you to rub your hands together, because we have energy centers in the palms of our hands, chakras, right? They're smaller chakras than the main 7 physical chakras. You're gonna rub your hands together, and you go like this and feel the tension between your hands after you activate the palm chakras, okay? Once you activate those chakras, you'll start to notice a tingling or resistance between your hands. That's the energy coming from the center of your palms, from your palm chakras. So you're gonna take this energy now, and you're just gonna sweep the energy away. Whatever's yours, not yours, you're just gonna sweep it out of your field. So the 7 chakras actually make up the 7 layers of our auric field. And maybe you've heard about people that can see auras and they see colors around people and so forth. It's actually pretty easy to learn. And one way that you can do that, I'll tell you really quickly. Take a paper plate, poke a pinhole right in the middle of it, and then have one of your friends or your family or whatever stand up against a blank wall, a plain wall, turn a light on, and then look at them through the pinhole of the paper plate. As you're looking at them, you will start to see this white band of what looks like energy around them. You're actually seeing their auric field. You might not see colors. Many people don't see colors. It's kind of rare, actually, to see auric colors around people. But we have this energy field. So like when you meet someone, whether it's somebody new or you're coming home for the day from work or wherever you're doing, and you walk into a room, your energy field enters that room long before you ever do. That's your auric field. And if you hold your hands out, take a breath, actually go like this and hold your hands out. Now, you wouldn't be driving the car if you're watching this now, because you're in front of the TV or a computer or your phone or whatever. So you put your hands out, and put your hands out until you can feel some resistance. Like I feel it right there, right? So my energy field is here, right? Now, oftentimes my energy field is so far out I can't feel it, and I need to pull it in. And how do you do that? It does take some practice. You might not feel it right away, but if you don't feel any resistance, and you can go like this with no resistance, take a deep breath and make sure that you're grounded. So take a deep breath in, and then blow out any energy down your body and anything you don't need into the earth, right? Imagine it just going out and down into the ground, and feel your feet really planted on the ground below you, right? Now take a breath and then just raise your arms up. And there again, this is where I start to feel the resistance. Now, sometimes my energy field is way out, especially when I'm working with people, because I get into their energy fields because I do energy work. So sometimes I have to pull it in. So if you go like this and you don't feel any resistance and you have done the grounding, then just go like this and imagine your energy field is being pulled in to you. And keep doing it until when you raise your arms, you feel the resistance. That's a really helpful tool, because if your energy is wide open and spread wide out, you're collecting up everybody's energy that is in that field that you come encountered with. And so that can lead to a lot of stress and anxiety, because people are on the edge right now. No matter what side you're on, people are just on the edge, right? And we got the holidays coming up. So you might be stressed about holiday gatherings. I know some of my friends aren't even going to their family gatherings because it's too divisive. There's just too much disagreement. And so they're avoiding the holidays completely this year. Now, you can do that if that's the best thing for you. So, but find your group, right? And get in with people who you resonate with. Now, if you're watching the show, I have to say, I'm all about inclusion. I'm all about human rights, about the environment, about what's right, and about humanity, and treating human beings in a kind way. Also, a fair way, because not every human on the planet is a kind, wonderful person. But that being said, if you're watching this show, you're my people, right? So find your people. Find your people. Okay. So the chaos that is on its way, and I'm gonna get an astrologer on so we can talk about next year and lay it all out, right? It's probably too much for one show because there's so much coming up. But know that it's going to be a fast-moving, fast-paced, fiery year, okay? Some things that you can do is start to build, especially your local communities, get to know your local farmers, okay? I'm not saying anything by that, but if we focus more on local and building our local communities, then our local economies thrive. So no matter what's going on the outside, when you build a local strong economy, you have a buffer. So I'm going to suggest that. So this holiday season, shop locally. Don't put your dollars into the big outlets. Of course, if you have little kids and they have to have a certain doll or toy or the latest fad, and you can't get it at a local shop, then, I'm not saying don't buy your kids something, or grandkids or whatever. But what I'm saying is try to focus as much of your spending as you can locally. Okay, that actually helps the whole system, because there's a lot of, favors done to these big corporations that impacts you and I every day. So that being said, let's see, where are we? Set your intentions, right? Start now. The new year is only a short time away. Now, New Year's intentions, people make them, people break them. The average for New Year's intentions for somebody to make it and then everybody to give up on it, or 90% of the population, is 17 whole days. You're going to go to the gym, you're going to work out, you're going to lose weight, you're going to do this and that and what, right? 17 days. You might even buy the gym membership, but you never walk through the door, okay? So next year especially is important, not so much to set New Year's intentions, but to be intentional every day. What is your intention every day, right? So my intention today was to prepare a show for you that I thought would help you, that would benefit your life. That was my intention and my focus. And be clear about what is your intention of the day. You're not going to do it every day. You know, sometimes I forget. One way that you can do that is to, though, pull an oracle card. And the card that I pulled for today, I don't have my deck with me today, so I have to use the phone. But the card that I have today is Milk and Honey. I don't know how clearly you can see that, but this is Colette Baron Reed's Wisdom of the Oracle deck, and the card is Milk and Honey. So Milk and Honey is really about nurturing. And, you know, in the ancient days, milk and honey and bread was, it was a treat. It was a celebration. It was how you nurtured and fed the soul. And so milk and honey is about feeding yourself, feeding your soul, nurturing yourself, and really bathing in the things that you do have. Because when we focus on what we have, especially with gratitude, gratitude is the abracadabra. It's the magic wand. Now, is it you're gonna, well, I'm using this as a magic wand today because I forgot to bring one, though. I do have a bunch of them. You're gonna wave your magic wand and then say, poof, there it is. Well, you could do that if you become a master manifester. It's possible, right? But for most of us, we focus on what's missing or what we don't have or what we, you know, rather than having the gratitude for what we do have. Like right now, my living room is a disaster. It is full of stuff with a yard sale that I was going to have because I'm cleaning the house out, and I couldn't do it because I'm having an issue with my back after having a little car accident. So I haven't been able to stand or walk for long. In fact, today is probably the longest I have stood continuously since July, to be honest, and not been in tons of pain, although anyway, I digress. So, so my intention was to have a yard sale. Wasn't able to do it. And then the weather was supposed to be like 60 this weekend. So I thought, oh, well, I'll have it and maybe I'll do like indoor yard sale, partially indoor, partially outdoor. Well, it's going to be 40 this weekend. That's not going to work. And it's so close to the holidays. Who's going to come to a yard sale? Anyway, again, I digress. So I'm sitting there last night and I'm thinking about the show, and I'm working on some alterations for my daughter, and I sew too. Most people who are sensitive do a lot of creative things. And I thought, you know what? I have so much stuff, and I'm so grateful for what I do have. Maybe I'll just give it all away to somebody who doesn't have so much. And that feels really good. So that might be something that you want to do now, is especially with the holidays coming. A lot of people exchange gifts. You're going to have more things coming in the house. Do a clean out. You'll feel better, and give it away if you can. Gift it away, okay? So I'm looking at the timer. We only have 4 minutes left. I always think, what am I going to talk about? And the next thing you know, the time is gone. So while remember again, follow us on YouTube, like the channel, the station, and then leave a great comment and a good review if you like the show. Also, there are other great shows on this YouTube channel and on the public access station. So make sure you're watching those too, and give the people who are making the effort to bring you content, you know, leave them a nice comment if you like what they're doing as well. As you know, my friend Jeannie B has her own show, and so make sure that you watch her show too. Okay, so mindfulness, we're going to tie this with a bow, wrap this up. Know that we're coming into an even more fast-paced and tumultuous year next year, astrologically wise, both Eastern and Western. It's going to be quick moving, okay? So get your running shoes on, Not that you literally have to run. Be ready for it. And how do you get ready for it? You build your resilience muscle. You do that through 2-minute grounding exercise. Breathing in, do box breathing. You breathe in, hold it for 4. Breathe into 4, hold it for 4, breathe out for 4. That's box breathing, right? You can do 8. Breathe in for 8, hold it for 8, exhale for 8. Whatever you're comfortable with. Do that for 2 minutes. Go out and touch a tree. Take your shoes off and stand on the earth. I even do that in the winter for, a minute or 2. Ground yourself. You can have salt blocks under your feet at your desk. If you do that, put something under it because they can damage the floor. You clear your space. Whether you use clearing sprays or bells or crystal bowls, there's lots of different ways you can clear your space. And know that whatever we have facing us today, tomorrow, in the near future, there's always good and there's always challenges. And when you remember the times that are challenging, remember the challenges that you've had in the past that you've already gotten through. And know that any future challenges that come, you will get through those also. Just know that. So if you're feeling anxious, if you don't know what direction to go in, get support. Find a good therapist, get a support group, talk to your friends, your family if they're in alignment, and build that support team, right? Get together with like-minded people. Have a soup night with your girlfriends or guys too, right? Whoever. But get together and build your community. Build your local community. Support your local communities. Build the local resistance bubble, I'm going to call it, and build your resistance or resilience bubble within your heart and within yourself. I'm so happy that you're here. I can't wait to see you again. And please, again, go to YouTube, like and follow the show. And I have a studio audience live. I had a studio audience on for the last show. I'm going to do it again. So if you want to be part of that studio audience, you want to make sure to email. You want to be part of the studio audience. The email will be on the screen for the show. Email that you want to be part of the studio audience. I think probably there'll be one in January, which if you want to do that, you gotta let us know. So this is Cynthia Fontaine and Empowering You. Have a fabulous, fabulous, fabulous holiday. I will see you the next time I see you, whether in person or on the show. Thanks so much for being here. Oh, and share this with your friends. Let's get these numbers up, right? Share it with your friends. And so I will see you. Bye for now. Take good care. Love you all.
The Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Community Center is located in Newport, Rhode Island. Our mission is to nourish, educate, and support Newport County residents to improve their social, economic, and physical well-being. For more information, please visit our website at mlkccenter.org. We'd love you to come volunteer, or if you need help, please turn to us and we'll be there to support you.